if there was no Jack and Hagar here? Well, who are you then?
No one. And that is who a girl must become.
The House of Black and White is a temple and the headquarters, for lack of a better word, of the Faceless Men.
The priests of the many-faced God are also paid assassins in a sense, but there's always a religious aspect to what they do.
Jaqen was this person who could magically disappear. It makes perfect sense that this would be very appealing to Arya.
She's traveled all this way. She doesn't really have a direction. When she gets into the House of Black and White, she realizes there's a lot more going on than she originally thought.
The House of Black and White is an interesting visual effects challenge for a couple of reasons. It's a combination of set piece by the art department in CG that extends to its full super height.
The black and white doors were described as being 12 feet tall. They were always to be very rectangular. What was wonderful about them was to see Arya next to those doors.
The House of Black and White consists of many different halls. One of the bigger ones is the atrium, where a big fountain stands. All the people receive the drink of death.
It just needed to be ancient and huge, like you were in a giant, giant cave where there's no windows, there's no natural light, and some candles on the floor. So it's also a little bit disorienting.
The idols of many of the different deities worshipped in this world are placed, and people can come here and pray and try to find solace.
What the room tries to do is to remain neutral, like in a gallery. These pieces can each have the same level of importance because each god means something very deep and personal to the person who's coming here. The iron door ultimately leads to the corpse washing room, where the corpses are taken and then prepared. Similar to a morgue, we have a big slab of stone where the body would be placed, and Arya has to learn how the body is prepared.
Once people are dead, their faces get taken from them and put up for further use.
With the Hall of Faces, there was always a big question as to how much of this space would be practical and how much of it would be in visual effects.
We wanted it to be mystical and creepy, but at the same time feel like an actual space.
These faces are somehow stored, but also part of the architecture.
We've built approximately 600 faces. We've tried to have a mix of as many different sort of races and ages, face shapes and sizes as possible. Done a few on the team, so we've got David and Dan in there. The one face that Arya is touching, it's actually turned out to be my mum. She was delighted. She's like, oh my God, I'm going to tell everybody I'm in Game of Thrones.
It's the most impressive set that I've been into, but that's not even all of it. It goes on for pillars and pillars and pillars and goes up for meters and meters.
Largely, whichever direction you look, it's giant pillars covered in faces, like a hall of mirrors in that way. It's disorienting because it's so the same in all directions, and it's so big.
Seeing all of those eyeless faces looking at you when you walk down those columns, I think it really helps the actors get into the scene, to be in the middle of something that is as deeply weird and wonderful as the Hall of Faces.